when we queue up the live stream, we can start watching, and I think it says like,
Will you
you
pull
know,
it down a little bit?
So they didn't see us joking.
They might have seen all of it.
Hello, everyone.
Why am I not getting the notification? Oh, here we go. Play.
So it just does our banner.
Yep. So how's everyone doing? We are in Utah right now, still camping with Thomas and Stacy with I'm Not Lost in RVing. If you guys have never seen their channel, go ahead and check them out. Yeah, we are in the National Forest. Been at our current site for what, 13 days now?
Yep.
It's a 16-day stay limit, so got to find a new site here, 3 days coming up, but we thankfully have already, you know, gone searching and scoped out the area. We only have to go 10 miles away in this national forest, which is really nice because some of the national forests we've been to, the rule is that you have to completely get out of the national forest for a certain amount of time before you can come back in. But this one, you only have to go 10 miles away, and this is a huge national forest, so
we have lots of options.
Yeah.
And there's BLM land nearby too that we could move to, all kinds of stuff. So.
You comment?
I was just commenting for Scott Road already.
Hey, we got great Scott on, Gary Minor, and Jeb.
There it is. Hang on. Add moderator.
Yeah, how long have we been caravanning together now? Has it been like 3 weeks?
Probably.
Yeah.
Since the 25th, I think. I think
Yeah.
17 days. Only.
Yeah.
It's been roughly 3 weeks now, and yeah, it's been pretty great, except when we first met up, it was really hard finding a site just because we did a pretty bad job of avoiding some busy areas, and yeah, just like everything was taken. But yeah, thankfully we've been able to find a spot, and we jumped around to like 4 different sites in the same week. We moved like 4 times in 1 week, just trying to find a site that we could both fit in and just that would work well for us. And thankfully we finally found one. Even though it was quite a ways away from our original meeting spot, but it's worked out.
Mm-hmm. I want to give a couple big shout outs here. I saw that Jeb is on. So hello, Jeb. Thank you for joining us. Matt Hughes is on. Hello, Matt. And I saw Scott Rohde is on too.
Yep.
Hey, Scott.
Oh, I see Diana Martin's on too.
Oh, we got a pretty good question. This is a pretty common question, and sort of this whole string of, or you know, it's goes together with some of the things that we get all the time, and it is, how do you go about getting a driver's license without a permanent address?
Ooh.
So yeah, that is an excellent question, especially for people that don't really have a lot of family. What we've been able to do, luckily, our parents allow us to use their house as like home base. So as far as the government is concerned, that's where we live. We live back in Indiana at my parents' house. So that is the address that is on our driver's licenses, and that is also the address that all of our mail gets sent to. So
yeah, but to determine on where you want to have your home address at, there could be a lot more research that goes into it beyond just like having a place to send your mail. Because there are states like South Dakota, I believe Texas is one too, where you don't have to have a permanent address in order to get a license or to register your vehicles there, but you do have to have a place to send your mail. So like there are a lot of mail forwarders in those states that you can send your mail to, and you can change your address to the address of the mail forwarder. That way you can get your driver's license there, and you can also register your vehicles there. So,
you know, weirdly, when we camped in the Keys, they were going to allow us to have our VIN number. Remember that? As our address portion.
Weird. I've never heard of that.
Remember that?
No. Well, I know that you can put transient, just because when I was a deputy, people who were homeless would have like transient or like different versions of that word for their address.
On their driver's license?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it would just say like, or they would pick like a shelter sometimes and use that shelter address. But yeah, there's different wording I think they can use for that, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, I think Florida, South Dakota, and Texas are the big ones that most people choose. I think it's because of no state income tax.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
That was the big one.
C. Kramer said, hi, everyone. Great to see you all together. Just watched the flat tire on Mexico video for I'm Not Lost in RVing. Ugh, glad to see you safely stateside.
Yes, that was a scary moment.
Yeah,
oh
it
my
was.
gosh, when you don't speak the language, that whole experience was definitely a lesson to be learned.
Yeah, and someone asked on there, I don't know if I clarified, but the roadside, the Angels, the Green Angels never showed up. So for those of you who are wondering, basically we had a flat tire in Mexico. We were on a toll road in Mexico. When you pay for your toll also covers like roadside assistance, basically, for like the local government. They're called Green Angels. So we contacted them, but they never did ever show up.
We think that they drove by, but because I could not communicate what type of vehicle we were in, we think maybe they weren't sure if
It
we
was
were
an
the
RV.
ones or
Yeah,
not.
they thought they might have thought car and just kept going. It was
Definitely
definitely a stressful situation, and
Yeah.
that whole situation, we were stuck on the side of the road with a flat tire for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Probably. It was a long time. Yeah, especially being pretty close to San Luis Potosi, which is like a notorious bad
city.
area.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it was pretty sketchy, but it all worked out.
Yeah.
We got a pretty interesting question here. Living to be Happy asks, how do we stop our trailer from smelling? It seems like it always has a gray water smell. Whether it's empty or full, there's just a smell all the time. Do you guys have any idea?
I don't know what would cause that.
I know when we were in the
I have somewhat of
Keys,
an idea, but-
when it was hot, we would notice that our tank would smell a little bit more, like you would notice it more in the hot weather. I would check your plumbing vents if it was me.
Yep.
Because if you're not getting proper ventilation, then it would be going inside. Or if you have all of your windows closed and you run your fantastic fan, it will back pull air in through the gray tank and then through your sink and your P-trap.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're running a fan, like a vent fan, and you don't have a window open, you could be doing that too. That's my guess.
Yeah, Thomas makes an excellent point. Your gray tank and your black tank typically vent up through your roof. That's what our trailer does. We've got 2 vents up there that run from our gray tank and our black tank, but we've actually
We've met people where it vents into the back of their sink.
their gray tank vents somewhere inside their trailer. Yeah, like under inside one of their
It was like the back of a cabinet.
yeah, it like vents to the inside of one of their
bizarre.
cabinets. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that is nuts. So you're definitely going to want to find out where your gray tank vent is. If it vents up to your roof, then you definitely want to check, see if it's clogged or something's going on with that vent.
I
And
also
then-
have a solution. Sorry,
Okay.
for this.
Oh, yeah. Jenny's got a solution too. And then also, or if it doesn't vent into the roof and it vents into a cabinet or somewhere else on the inside of your rig, then probably do some Google searching to find like people that may have figured out a fix for that, because yeah, venting in the inside is really weird. Something you could do is get something like this. What is this? Pure Power Blue. We call it the blue stuff. It does an excellent job of killing gray water smells. We use it. We love it. You can go on our website, fateunbound.com/gear. And we've got this listed there, so you can pick it up on Amazon. That's some really good stuff, and it really does a good job of eliminating those odors, those gray tank odors, if you're out of options.
And we only ever do 2 ounces. And it says 2 ounces treats 40 gallons. And we have how many gallons? 54 gallons of gray storage?
Yeah, we have 74.
74 gallons of gray water storage.
Yeah.
And the 2 ounces works perfectly. We don't ever have to use more than that for a whole
Yeah,
2
so
weeks.
one bottle of that is 16 treatments, so that's a lot. It lasts us a long
many
time.
months.
Yeah, we've been on the road for 3 years now, and we've only gone through 1.5 bottles of that, so yeah, it does really good.
The other one was a tiny bottle though.
No, it's the same size.
Oh, it was?
Yep.
Oh. Will you angle it down more?
More? Okay.
Yeah, because they're missing this awesomeness right here.
Oh, what? Oh, I'm sorry. This right there.
Oh yeah, they're probably like, "What's Stacy doing with her hand over there?"
Petting sweetie.
Petting sweetie.
Yeah.
So
Sweetie's loving all
yeah,
the
she's
attention.
Sweetie is like, this is. It doesn't get any better than this for her. She just loves being a part of the group. So like having people over and she gets to hang out. This is like.
Yeah.
This
She's
is
in
awesome
heaven.
for her.
Yeah, she's in heaven. She's like, this is great. This is awesome.
So Shaun LaRue wants to know. He said, "I know you've probably covered it before, but what are your favorite websites for searching boondocking sites?"
Oh, okay. So, we normally only actually use one website, and that's freecampsites.net. They have an excellent collection of camping spots. Most of them are free. and they list all campsites up to $12. So they'll even have campgrounds that are under $12 a night. They'll have those listed there too. So it's not just free. Most of it's free camping, but there are some paid sites in there too. And I've never really had an issue finding campsites through them. The one thing that I don't like about their website is they have a limit on how many pictures each person can post. So if I want more pictures of an area that looks popular, then I'll head over to campendium.com, and there's normally just tons of pictures for the same camping area over there. So
What also cracks me up, talking about the pictures on there, sometimes people like post a picture of like their rig at sunset, which is a cool picture, but it's not of like the campsite. It's
Yeah,
just, like,
that's...
all you can see is their RV and like this cool like sunset. And you're like, that's really a cool picture, but doesn't help me figure out what the site looks
like. That's an excellent point. Yeah,
a lot of people do that. I don't know why. I've always noticed that. It's kind of funny.
I prefer to show, like, whenever I post a campsite review on one of those websites, I like to take like a picture of the whole campsite, the road.
Get the drone up, take a nice aerial shot, which I know most people don't have that, but still.
Yeah, the road can be a huge factor for a lot of people.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Is it wide enough? Is it rutted? You know, stuff like that. Sometimes you get road pictures, and of course that can change with weather too.
Yeah, and then you really got to take all of those reviews with a grain of salt, unless there are a lot of reviews on an area and you can get a really good idea without going there first of what it's going to be like. You gotta not really trust what people are saying, because a lot of times people will say 4x4 and high clearance required. Don't you dare even try going down this road. And then we go down it with our trailer and we're just like,
we're like we're towing a trailer down it, and it's just like totally fine.
It's like, why?
But I think, you know, what's fine for some people isn't going to be fine for others. I think that we have a lot higher like risk tolerance when it comes to going down certain roads, even with our trailer. So this is Matt Hughes he says, "What's for dinner?" Sorry, but I had to start the food talk. We actually already ate dinner.
Yeah, we already ate.
Yep, because we knew. We're like, if we don't eat now, then
we're gonna be hungry.
We're gonna be freaking starving.
We had a snack before we came over. Yeah.
What's for dinner though after this?
Probably the lasagna.
Leftover lasagna.
It's good, really good.
That was good lasagna.
I tried to do a vegetarian style, and I forgot about like what to stuff the lasagna in, because I've never done that before. And Thomas picked up a huge thing of mushrooms, but it didn't go as far as I thought it would. So it's mainly cheese and sauce and noodles.
I think it's really
mainly.
It was good. It was very good.
What
We
did
got
you
to
bring
try
me?
it yesterday.
She brought me this toy. Good girl.
Dork.
Where are you at, David? I'm trying to.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He's up high still.
Bernie L. Randolph asks, "Hey, David and Jenny, question: how are the e-bikes holding up?" Thanks. They're holding up great.
Yeah, they're holding up great. We love them still.
And one of the oh, sorry, Sweetie has a squeak toy. Yeah, and one of the things that we just recently got that we haven't made a video on is the suspension seat posts. They are now offering. So if you have been thinking about not getting them because they're hardtails, a hard front, there's no suspension, which if you plan on going off-road is, a big bummer and a big downside. They now make a seat that has suspension built into it. So it'll, cushion some of that shock, at least for your butt. But not so much.
Your butt, the butt shock.
Yeah, you'll still, exactly. It'll dampen the butt shock, but not like.
But the seats are massive. They're like this big and they're so squishy. So yeah, they're really comfortable. Yeah, the area that we're in is really busy, so I haven't wanted to get them out because it's a pain to put them away, and I want to just leave them out so that it's no big deal. But the next area we plan on traveling to is not busy, and I plan on riding that around like every day.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know what we're talking about, we've made 3 videos now on the e-bikes that we have. So if you want to check that out, just go to YouTube and just search Fade Unbound e-bikes, and our videos will come up. And then Ron said, "Thanks for the video on the Micro Air Easy Start. I just got mine and I'm waiting to install once the weather clears up." That's awesome. Yeah, we love ours too. It's served us perfectly well with our small generator. So
you guys just have a question just now.
We did. Oh, I was gonna answer TJ's. He wants to know if Mr. Kitty plays well with your kids.
We have introduced Alice to Mr. Kitty, but she is a grumbly turd.
He was very interested in her when she first came over, and he was trying to politely give her space, but also check her out. and she was definitely giving him the cold shoulder. So then he started giving her the cold shoulder, and then she wanted to check him out and be in his space, and then this just keeps going back and forth.
Yeah.
And so they're playing hard to get.
Yeah, they both are.
They both are. Yeah, we had just Alice over there without us the other day, and she did better, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed that they become good friends soon.
Yeah, it's just so weird because Alice so desperately wants to be friends with our other cat, Butters, and Butters is just like not into it at all. So we thought that Alice would like meet another cat and be like, oh, heck yeah, I have a buddy, you know, and like.
Plus, she gets along with your brother's cats.
I know.
So, well, one of them.
Cats
The
are
other one's a
weird.
jerk,
Cats
but,
are
you know.
so
Cats
weird.
are weird about
Yeah.
like another cat. Some of them do and some of them don't.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
social structure is just weird.
So a lot of people are talking about Happy Camper's organic RV holding tank. We actually got to experience that while we were in Mexico. Our companions had some, and if you can get Happy Camper, it's phenomenal.
Is it?
It breaks down your black tank to just mush. Like there's no solids whatsoever.
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy.
I think it's like a small company, and it's all like organic base. It's supposed to be like it's basically a bacteria that you put in the tank.
Mhm.
But you have to be careful about using cleaning solutions in the tank and that kind of stuff because it will just kill those bacteria.
Right. Yeah.
And you're trying to keep a good amount of them in there so that they can do their
This stuff
job.
was phenomenal though. It goes a long ways. You only need a little amount. You can put it in your gray and black tank, and it killed the smell too. So when we dumped, it did not smell like it normally does.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
wow.
not as
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, we were real. They gave us some. Howard and Caitlin from New State Nomads gave us some. And we were
Yeah.
super impressed.
And Matt Hughes asked, do you still wash laundry in the Wonder Wash, and what does Stacy and Thomas use?
Yes, I do. I just did laundry the other day. I haven't put those clothes away yet.
Yeah.
Who
Well, they
doesn't,
just-
who doesn't dry clothes and not put them away? That's like normal.
Well, they
Yeah.
just finished drying yesterday anyway,
Yeah.
so.
I do still use that. I don't use it for pillowcases. I don't use it for bed sheets or comforters or blankets. But I'll use it for like the towels that we use to dry our bodies. But anything hardier than that, like
Hardier?
bulkier
Bulkier?
than that,
Yeah.
Hardier.
especially bed sheets, we go to a laundromat for those about once a month.
Yeah.
And we just use laundry mats.
Yeah. It cost us we do laundry every 3 weeks. We try to go as long as we can. And then we'll do our linens and everything. So we actually just did laundry last week.
Yeah, when we had to go in town. We tried to do it all at once.
I washed our throw blankets, our regular blankets, our sheets, our actual laundry basket full of clothes, and it was $17 to wash and dry. So it's not too terrible.
Yeah. It varies depending on where you go, and
Yeah.
that's just laundromat stuff. That's something Stacy typically likes to do, which is a lot of times like I'll drop her off, help her carry the stuff in, and then I'll go dump our tanks and get propane and then come back.
Oh,
So we
okay.
kind of like kill
Yeah.
two birds with one
It's like
stone.
our separated time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't mind going to the laundromat as long as it's not. So the laundromat that I hated the most was when we were in Moab and we all had to go to the laundromat together. It was packed. I had to wait for a machine, and that was the first time I'd ever had to wait for a machine.
Yeah.
And so if I have to wait for a machine somewhere, then I don't like going. And then there was one other place.
That was a really small laundry.
It was tiny. Now I went to a huge laundromat that was also too packed, and it was in Quartzsite. They have a whole bunch of laundromats there, but one of them is huge, and it's on the back of a restaurant. It's a really good laundromat, and like they got my clothes clean just fine, no problem. But it was so packed.
Oh,
I couldn't get a washing. I couldn't get. Okay, that's
Sorry.
I couldn't get enough washing machines to wash our clothes all at the same time, and that was really frustrating.
Doug Sapper said, it's a sweetie thing.
Yeah. Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
Diana Martin asked, is that thunder? No, we just had the wind really
Yeah.
pick up.
So I saw.
It pulled. I had a question lined up, but it pulled it down.
Oh, I saw a question for Thomas and here it is. Here's a question right here. Question for Thomas and Stacy: how scared were you when you got that flat tire in Mexico from Lance?
I'm not gonna lie, we were pretty scared. It might not have looked like it in the video, but one, we were near a city that we knew was bad. We didn't speak the language, and so we were worried about becoming victims in the hour and a half that we were on the side of the road trying to fix our tire.
Yeah, I think mainly it was because we were so close to San Luis Potosi, which is like they tell you like basically don't stop there. Like if you look on like the RV groups and stuff that travel down there, they say like get fuel well before it, just go all the way through it.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately we just happened to get a flat tire near that area. So we were pretty worried. But the great thing about the toll roads in Mexico is the people who are on them, because they're expensive. They're very expensive.
It's $30 a toll, pretty much.
Yeah, and you're talking like their average wage is $6 a day there, so locals aren't really using the toll roads.
Yeah.
So the great thing about the toll roads is it's typically like a lot of semis and more like larger vehicles, tour buses and stuff. So you don't get a whole lot of just regular traffic, honestly. So it wasn't too bad. It was just we didn't want to be stuck there overnight. And without the tools to change a tire, it was a pretty sketchy situation. But
yeah. I was scared.
Well, now you're safe.
Now I'm safe, yes.
That was a crazy day.
Rocking C Travels asks, question, now that y'all have full-time for a while, do you still get those looks when people find out you live in the rig? We are just in month 8 and get those looks all the time and the comments. So
we've only recently someone, I don't know how to tell the story. I'm gonna let you just tell it.
So like we never really get those comments or those looks or anything like that. But
because we don't normally tell people.
I was just gonna say, then again, we just keep to ourselves. You know, we go out into the national forest and we don't really ever encounter anyone out here. So I guess that might be why we never get that. We did just recently, a couple weeks ago. Someone came into our campsite, and we were talking to them for a little bit, and they made kind of a snide remark when we let them know that we live full time in our RVs. But that was the first time it's happened.
Yeah, I can't remember what he said, but it was something along the lines of, like you hooked up to water in there, or like you hooked up utilities and have water in there.
Yeah, I think he said it's like you have indoor plumbing.
Yeah, I think that's what he said, indoor plumbing. You're right, he did say that. And I was like, well, actually, we have appliances, refrigerators, stove, water. We both have solar systems.
Where was that at? I must have missed that.
The last campsite. Where the guy came in. Me and Dave were still outside when he first came up. And I'm just like, actually, we have all these things.
Yeah, we have running water.
And then he did kind of like change his tone and talk about how he used to have an RV and stuff like that.
Yeah, he backpedaled after that.
Yeah. If he used to have an RV, he would know that they have
all these things. Odd. He said it was a toy hauler too. So no, it was a Super C.
Super C.
Yeah. So it was like, it sounded like it was pretty swanky. So
it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's weird that you guys get so much negativity because we don't have stuff like that happen to us.
Like and like when you guys came, when you guys were caravanning with us last time at Angel Peak, that's we like just met up, and then the guy
throwing a rocket at your drone.
I guess we just
every time we hook up with them, we always have a weird encounter.
Together, our auras bring the weird people out.
But that's so weird because all we're trying to do is just be out here in the middle of nowhere and just like we don't. That comes to us. We don't we're never out seeking any of this negativity. It's just like people just approach us, and I don't know. It's only happened a few times.
We're like y'all. Like when we're out in public, if we're just chatting, like if someone just happens to be chatting with us about something, when people ask what we do and stuff like that, we normally just say like, "Oh, we work remotely."
Exactly.
And stuff like that. We try to keep it sort of vague, and we do that because whenever you tell someone, "Oh yeah, I do YouTube," then they proceed to ask you 5,000 questions about YouTube, which is great, but it's just like if we're out having a good time, relaxing, we might not want to talk about work.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm at the grocery store. It's just like I don't really want to talk about it.
Like I'm in the middle of something, I don't really want to have hours of small talk. So yeah, that's typically, or like when I'm getting my hair cut, like you know how they're always talking to you the whole time, and they they ask us where we're from, what we do, and I usually just say, oh, we're from Indiana, but we're traveling through the area. And they ask us what we do, and I just say we work remotely, and just so I don't know.
Yeah. Joseph Meehan, question for Tom: does it feel weird that you have the beard and have to carry all the manliness for the group? What? That was kind of mean.
Well, to be fair, what was his name?
David shaved his off.
I didn't know facial hair was directly tied to manliness. It's directly proportional. The more facial hair you have,
well, you're talking about going to the barbershop to get your hair cut. I just have to shave. I don't get an opportunity, so my hair is just here, not here.
Yeah, we just switched.
Exactly. That's so true.
That's great.
Weren't we the ones that nearly slid down a cliff on a trailer a while back? No.
No. Did you guys?
Not slid down a cliff. We have struggled getting up that hill that one
But
time.
that was like last year,
Yeah.
around the same time we caravan with y'all last year. So.
Yeah, and that wasn't the trailer. That was
Yeah.
your little class.
Yeah.
Class B.
Yeah.
Are you having a hard time finding certain foods or supplies? We were for a little while. It was hard to find like eggs,
Beans, rice.
butter,
Yeah.
toilet paper, like everyone else. But now
bread,
it's starting
bread
to.
aisle was empty one time when I went.
It's beginning to get easier now. I think especially as a lot of grocery stores are actually enforcing their like only 1 or 2 limit of certain things per customer. Like I just went into the grocery store about a week ago and they had plenty of toilet paper there, so I just grabbed some just to make sure, But yeah, they would only let you take 1 package of toilet paper out. And Thomas went to the grocery store.
1 pack of eggs.
Yeah, not too long ago, and it was same thing. It was like you could only take 1 carton of eggs out with you. So that's good because it's making sure that everyone at least gets a little bit instead of a few people just hoarding all that stuff.
And then I was getting 9, yeah.
Yep. David and Jenny, when you bought your trailer, were you looking for a Springdale or more of a certain floor plan and price range? Would you stay with that manufacturer / model if you were going to change trailers?
So we were looking at Keystone. I wouldn't necessarily say that we started off wanting a Springdale, but we started off wanting a Keystone. And mostly because we have family that worked for the company and they gave us great review.
He actually works for Crossroads, not Keystone.
Well, he was a manager for a plant.
He used to be plant manager for Keystone.
Keystone. And so he had good things to say about it, and he recommended us go with a Keystone. So
Yep.
that's what we were looking for. We started off looking at Montanas because they were gorgeous, and there was a ton of room. And so we were looking at those, and those are like, basically a literal house on wheels.
They're awesome. Yeah.
And then we were just like, okay, that's really expensive. I don't want to have to finance a trailer. Let's find something with a similar floor plan that's really cheap. And we found a Springdale 5th wheel with a very similar floor plan. And
just smaller.
And we almost went with it. Guys, I swear, we almost went with that 5th wheel. And then we found this trailer.
Yeah.
And by then I was just so burnt out on changing our minds that I was just like, just pick one.
Yeah, right. We found this trailer and we found this trailer and you were like, yeah, that's it.
I was just tired of arguing about which trailer we were going to get.
Yeah,
changing our mind once a week.
When we first hit the road, we were on a pretty tight. We had a pretty tight budget. It was like we can't really go over this much because if we spend more than that, then it's going to eat into our funds that we're going to be living off of when we hit the road. So the more money we spent, the less amount of time that we would be able to be on the road until we figured out how to make money on the road. So our outlook when we were looking for a truck and a trailer was, what is the least expensive, smallest rig that we still think that we can comfortably live in? And over time, it just got smaller and smaller and smaller, thankfully, which also means it got cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So we, like Jenny said, we started off thinking we needed this massive 5th wheel, this like luxury thing with all the bells and whistles. And then we're like, we don't need that because if we spend 60 grand on that, we're going to have to finance it and we don't want to go into debt. So then we were looking at the Springdale 5th wheel. But again, it was like $24,000 for that.
It's 24.
Yeah, and then we found this Springdale travel trailer, which was only $14,000, and
these are all new prices, by the way.
Yeah, brand new.
Because we were dumb and didn't look for used at the time.
We're noobs. But yeah, so that's why we weren't like dead set on Springdale, but we were pretty dead set on Keystone because, like Jenny said, my uncle Doug has been in the RV industry as kind of he's
managers all over.
Yeah, he's worked from the assembly line to a plant manager. He's been in the RV industry for decades. So and he's not a bullshitter. So he's going to tell you if he says something, he's not like trying to fool you for whatever reason. He's a very straight shooter. So
You're not allowed to say bullshit.
I can say whatever I want. I'm an adult. So yeah, so we trusted his word when he said you should really stick to Keystone as far as these like cheaper builds go. Sweetie girl, sweetie. So yeah, that's why we ended up with a Springdale in our trailer.
So I want to give I've seen some work from our moderators, and I wanted to give a shout out. We've actually got quite a few moderators on right now, and I wanted to give a quick thank you to all of you. So thank you guys.
Yeah,
You
go
guys
ahead and
are
thank our moderators for doing work.
awesome. Yeah. Sorry guys. All right.
What was I gonna say? Oh, there's quite a few people watching. 300 people on.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we were competing with Trump, apparently, somebody said.
Yeah, I saw that.
The
You must be having.
stimulus check conversation is going on or
Oh,
whatever.
really?
And
Oh,
so,
really?
yeah, there's a lot of people watching that.
We're not getting them.
Yeah.
They're just like.
Well, we're appreciative that all of you are watching because, you know, it's hard to compete with the
Yeah.
news.
Absolutely,
That's
that's true.
definitely a big deal. So,
Especially right now, everybody wants to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So we understand.
You're so loud. You have non-loud toys right now.
GMAX said, after over 35 years on the PD, I watched both your channels, bought an RV, and look to you for advice. Look forward to more videos. It's awesome. Well, thank you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's very sweet.
Have you guys found any questions or
Oh, yeah.
you want to answer? Okay, sorry. I don't mean to. I'm not trying
No,
to
I was just
monopolize.
Yeah, I was just letting you run the show basically. So some people have asked if we've had a hard time finding places because a lot of places are closing.
Yeah.
And so like the biggest goal for us right now is just to try to stay as in one spot as much as possible and not make big moves. So a lot of places are closing down and we're just trying to do our best to make short moves, you know, when we have to. And so far we've been lucky, knock on wood, to not, you know, we have somewhere to go. So
I know that other states, especially in California, there are a lot of issues with people not being able to even find campgrounds to stay in. But luckily, in Arizona and in Utah, their travel restrictions aren't as strict as other places, and we're still able to stay on BLM land and in the national forest. So we're not having a difficult time, but there are people that are.
Yeah.
So.
And we are trying to stay in one location as long as possible too. Like our stay limit on our current site is 16 days, and we're maxing that out. And then when we're forced to move, we are only moving just a short distance away.
We're only
like
going an hour
yeah,
away.
our next site that we have scoped out is only an hour away, and that's very much on purpose so that we're really limiting how much travel and moving we're doing. If there was if they would allow us to stay in one site in the national forest, you know, indefinitely, that's what we would do, just to limit our exposure.
But they are enforcing the stay limits, especially here. So so we do actually have to leave. They're really nice though.
Yeah.
They're incredibly nice, and we have rangers that come by every day. They're here every day, aren't
just
they?
about, I've seen them pretty much anytime I'm outside. If I'm outside for a little period of time, I've noticed them drive by. So, but I think a lot of their areas they were telling us are still covered in snow, so they're really hitting the spot that we're at.
Yeah.
And we're moving an hour, but really it's because we have to move 10 miles in the national forest, and it really just takes that long to get to that location because it's we're gonna have to go out and around. It's really not that far away.
There's no way to get there from here going straight through the national forest.
Yeah, of course. So it's really not that far away by the way the bird flies.
Oh yeah, straight line distance is definitely less than 20 miles.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like 12
we just
miles
have to,
or something.
It's that way through all those mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we haven't shown out our window. Should we show them? It's beautiful here.
Yeah, let's show.
Yeah.
We have an
Let me roll this
awesome
up.
view, guys.
All right. Yeah, here's our back window.
You can see red.
And then out this way. Wait. We might be able to see it. There's some snowy mountains. Oh, geez. That was zoomed in really fast. Some snowy mountains out off in the distance there, too. It's really, really pretty here. So we love this site because it's beautiful, but it is a little busy. I don't know if I'm zoomed out all the way.
Yeah,
This is
so
probably
for being
jeez, come on.
Boy.
All right, I'm not touching it anymore. That's where it stays.
So some people are surprised that the National Forest doesn't have just like a stay put thing, and I think it's because a lot of full-time RVers are forgotten about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so if you think about it, just because we're on YouTube not the only people who live this lifestyle.
There are millions.
Yes.
No, there's an estimated 1 million full-time RVers in the United States.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And so there are a ton of people who live this lifestyle and may have gotten trapped in a different state when all of this quarantine stuff started happening. So the best thing that we can do is just, roll with the punches and, hope that they don't kick us out of where we're at. But we can, I don't know why they haven't thought of us as a whole. They assume that we have a house to go back to, I guess.
Yeah.
We've actually have some friends that are pretty much stuck in Florida. We have a couple friends that are stuck there. One of our friends, he actually was at the RV summit in Georgia and went to Florida. That's what he already had plans. And he has 1,000 Trails membership. Got to Florida and learned that the first day where he was at was good. But then while he was at that park, which is, I guess, what are the paid parks called?
Encore Park.
Encore. So he was in an Encore Park, but he wanted to move to a regular park, so he didn't have to pay per night. And then they have the rules: you have to, be out of the system, yada yada. So he was going to move back and forth between those two parks, right? He got stuck in the one because they won't take new reservations. So he's stuck in the park that he's at basically because the one that he's supposed to go to, which is also 1,000 Trails, won't let him enter. And he's stuck paying $600 a month. Where he wasn't going to have that much cost before, so it's increased his, and he's on a limited income. So there's definitely people that are having issues because
a hard time.
Yeah, Florida is kind of like California. They close a lot of their state parks and stuff. But Arizona, they're all open. So it really varies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even in Utah, the whole Tri-County area around Moab, they closed all that BLM land a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but
it's not closed everywhere.
Yeah, we were told originally when it closed that they were kicking everyone out and no one could stay there except residents that lived in the area. Residents that lived there were still allowed to camp there. But then we learned recently that if you were already there, they didn't kick you out and they weren't making you leave. So they weren't enforcing the 14-day limit if you already were there when that order went in place. But
right, which is good for those people. The real only issue, for us, would be if we were to try to travel back home, from Utah to Florida or to Indiana for y'all, where would we stay in between?
All right, sweet.
Gosh. A lot of places are, so it's a lot of craziness going on.
I gotta put this toy away. It's too much.
It's just too crazy about it right now.
So people love the view. They're saying that it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
You guys have the best windows, though. I'm always jealous when I come in this RV because their windows are epic.
Well, your windows are awesome too. Yeah.
They need to be
replaced. We gotta get them fixed.
Yeah.
But
you guys have awesome windows though too.
Apprecio asked, have you regretted not getting a slide out? Hoping to go full-time as soon as we can travel. We bought a travel trailer without a slide and now realize we need more room, purchasing a Rockwood.
We do not regret not having a slide. We know what kinds of issues come with slides, and that includes if you're traveling down a really dusty road, which we do all the time, dust seeps in, and so the inside of your trailer gets dusty a lot. It's
just one more thing that can fail.
And they fail a lot.
and the biggest thing for us is that slides are really heavy. So they increase the weight of your trailer, and the big thing is they severely reduce the cargo limit of your trailer. So since our trailer doesn't have a slide, it doesn't weigh very much to begin with, and we have just an insane amount of cargo capacity. Our trailer can carry 2,600 pounds.
I'm never gonna reach that.
Yeah, and we have friends that have a trailer that's slightly longer than ours, and it has two slides. Or just one.
It's two slides.
It has two slides, and their cargo capacity is only 1,100 pounds.
Yeah, and they have to. I remember hanging out with them, and they literally have to, if they're buying something new, they have to figure out what they want to get rid of first, because even just buying a new camping chair, if it's heavier than the one they're replacing, now they have to get rid of their old camping chair and something else so that the new heavier chair can fit in their trailer.
Because that cargo capacity includes your waste tanks. So if you have a full freshwater tank and a full gray and black tank, how much can you carry? Nothing. So we really like that our trailer doesn't have a slide. It made it a lot cheaper to purchase in the beginning. Jenny, we don't have to deal with it breaking. We have a lot more cargo capacity and our trailer's lighter, and we don't have to deal with any leaking seals and dust and water getting in. So
You guys don't have a slide either.
We don't. We started out with two slides.
Yeah, we had a travel trailer and we had opposing slides in the back of our RV. And honestly, it just made the middle of the RV a big open space of nothing.
Yes.
So it was kind of it was nice to have the big space, but we're literally just heating and cooling and walking through this big empty space, there's nothing in it.
The slides would leak,
Yeah.
so that was an issue.
We crush things in the slides.
We would crush things in the
You have
slides.
to really be careful about being level because you can't open them unless you're level.
Yeah.
Because you can mess them up or mess the frame up. And like David said, they really do limit your cargo carrying capacity. Not all of them, but like if you go to like the lighter series, a lot of manufacturers are making like the F-150 and the half truck series.
Yeah.
And if they have a slide on them, you might have like 1,000 pounds of cargo, which is pretty much nothing. So there's definitely pros and cons to them. For us, we decided after having them the first time, we're like, never again.
And I think the key is if you're going to go without slides, you need to have big views. So David and Jenny have big views, so they don't feel so claustrophobic in here. Same thing with our RVs. The Itasca and the Lazy Days that we have, they both had plenty of views, so we didn't feel too claustrophobic being inside.
Yeah, that's a great point. Maybe that's why people like Airstream so much, because they have all the small windows that let in a lot of natural light, and it doesn't feel as small.
Not only that, but I think Jenny and I are just. I mean, I know this is how I am, Jenny. You can say whether that's how you are or not, but I like cozy spaces. So like places that are kind of small and I don't know. I just like it. It feels really cozy to me. So this small space, when we first moved in, we were like, well, okay, this is really small. But after like 2 or 3 weeks, the space felt like it grew as we got used to it. And
it didn't seem as small.
I
It doesn't
hated
seem
it.
that small now, too.
I hated it at first, and it took me more like 2 months
Oh, wow.
to adjust.
The
Yeah.
smaller space, yeah.
It didn't really bother me.
So what about in the Itasca then?
Less to
That's
fix.
the one that took me
Okay.
like 2 months
Yeah.
to adjust. Yeah, but we were literally living in a box. It was a 24-foot.
That's a small,
Total.
very small.
Class
So our
C.
living space was like 17 feet.
So it was very small.
Yeah,
so.
way less than ours. Yeah.
Joy asked for us, is it hard for us to stay put since we're used to moving around all the time?
Well, Joy, we've actually been, since the reason that we want to transition to the Lazy Days that we bought last August and then renovated was because we wanted to slow down. So we went a little bit bigger and got the Jeep. So it's actually been great for us. After we caravan with David and Jenny last year, we kind of were like forced to slow down, right? Because they stay places for a few weeks at a time. So it really made us slow down. We were like, oh, this isn't that bad.
It was hard at first.
It was.
When we first caravan with them, after day 4 or 5, I was
Yeah.
ready
I
to
remember
go.
that.
We're like,
Yeah.
okay, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Let's go do something.
And
You know?
David and I talked, and we were just like, we haven't even settled in yet.
Yeah. I'm still getting used to the area.
But we compromised on a week because Thomas and I were moving like every 3 to 4 days. They were moving every 2 weeks. So we said every like 7 days or so we would consider moving. That was last year. This year we've, so far we haven't been together very long, but so far we've stayed as long as we can in the sites. Not just for the obvious reasons.
Yeah,
but
but
that was our goal.
Us personally,
anyways.
in Mexico, we wanted to move a little bit slower. We were moving a little fast there, even because
Extremely fast.
they had prior plans or whatever, the couples that we were with. But once we came out of Mexico, which was back in the beginning, like March 1st or 2nd, we came out of Mexico.
Yeah.
We've been moving pretty slow since then compared to what we used to move. So we've only been moving like once a week or once every 2 weeks. And we've really liked slowing down, honestly. I think it's a great middle. It's not as expensive for us. We can kind of not worry about having to do everything in a quick period of time if we're going to explore and stuff. So it's been nice.
Yeah, and somebody else had
Not that
another
we
question.
can explore much right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of RVs, if we struggle to get our RVs the same place that you get yours.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
that's a
would
good
say
question.
for the most part, this time around has been fine. And we've gone to a couple of sketchy places.
Yeah, we crossed a creek.
Yeah, we did have to cross the creek. That one was fun.
Yeah, we did have to do that. And that one was probably the sketchiest place. But last year, we really did struggle with the Itasca.
It had much
Because it
lower
was,
clearance, though.
Front wheel drive.
It was front wheel drive, too.
And so we struggled to get to some of the places that they could get to easily.
But now it's not as bad. I think our biggest problem now is because we're similar heights, and overall we're 27 foot, and y'all are about the same with your trailer. So I think overall it's pretty similar now. We're just I think we're on the wide side because we're like 8 and change. So that's the only real.
And heavy.
And we're heavier,
Super
so
heavy.
we have to be careful about soft soil. But yeah, I mean they can definitely go more places because they have that pivot point in the middle, and they can and they're lighter. So
Yeah.
for sure.
Yours is the diesel though too.
Yep.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. But we're definitely we could go more places now than we could in the Itasca, and definitely more than we can go in our travel trailer, our first RV.
Yeah.
C. Kramer asks, David and Jenny, are you still going to Indiana next month?
I don't know.
We don't know. And it's
I don't
not. It's not next month. It'd be in June. But yeah, this has been a big thing that's been up in the air. We don't really know because our home state has a stay-at-home order right now, and they're pretty serious about it. So we're afraid that if we go home, that we would then be stuck. And
by pretty
we don't want
serious,
that.
by pretty serious, he means that if you're caught violating the stay-at-home order
in Indiana,
if you're caught violating the stay-at-home order for non-essential travel or non-essential reasons, then it is a Class B misdemeanor and you'll be taken to jail.
So, whether or not they're enforcing that, we don't really
We're
know,
getting
but
mixed answers.
But still, it's not something that we really want to test, especially like towing a travel trailer. I think it's pretty obvious that if we try to then leave the state, after our stay there, if the stay-at-home order is still going on, then we're towing a travel trailer that basically says, "Hey, look at us. We're doing non-essential travel." So we're worried of going home for that reason. We don't want to get stuck in Indiana for however long. So yeah, we don't know yet. We're gonna kind of wait. The wedding that Jenny is in isn't until June 13th, and as of right now, it's still on. They haven't canceled it. So we are sort of just in a holding pattern.
We're in a limbo. I think that we have decided that as long as there is a stay-at-home order, we are not going home. Because if there's a stay-at-home order, then my friend isn't going to get married, and that's basically the only reason we're going back.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's going to cost us $2,000 to get out there and then come back because we have to be back out here in July. So, and by here I mean West. We have to be back in Washington in July. So if we make that big long trip out there and her wedding gets canceled, then that's a waste of $2,000
and a lot of time
and fuel and having to go through states and touching a lot of gas pumps.
Yeah, doing a lot of unnecessary travel for nothing. Yeah, and risking exposure at every gas stop we stop at and every place we overnight at. So
plus they're higher on the list for cases, and they're next door to Michigan, which has a lot of cases.
Third.
Number 3, yeah.
Michigan's third.
Yeah, we would. Oh, sorry, go.
I was gonna say, in our home state's Florida, so for us, we kind of feel the same way. We think it's safer to try to stay put where we're at. We're quarantined away from everybody else. Yeah, it's the 4 of us, but we've definitely seen a lot more people at other campsites. Yeah. And we just go to get groceries. And if we lived here, we'd be doing the same thing. I think it's for us safer than it would be for us to drive all the way back to Florida, all those fuel stops, if we can find camping, because some places are not allowing it, issues with that kind of stuff. And then when we get there, Florida is a high risk. They have a lot more cases, so then we would just be even less. We'd be more exposed to it. So we're just trying to make the best decision. I think it's what we've done with what with the information that we have right now. Someone asked where we're moving to next, and we talked about this. The next spot we're moving to, we're supposed to stay there for 14 days, right? Or 16 days.
16 days.
And after that 16 days, hopefully a lot of the travel restrictions that are currently in place will either have lifted or we'll have more information about it, is really what we're thinking.
Because right now, a lot of places, their stay-at-home orders are ending this week or next week, and they haven't announced whether or not they're extending them. So hopefully Indiana is only through April 20th, and so by then, we should know if they're extending it or not, and if they extend it, then we're just going to stay out longer. We're just going to stay put longer. If they stop it, then we'll go home. Probably.
So weird. It's weird to be in these positions because you have to worry about what each state has decided.
Yep.
Yeah.
And unless you look up every single state law on the virus as you go through it, you could find yourself in trouble.
Yeah.
Like in Colorado, we have to, if we leave here, we have to travel straight through Colorado to head to Indiana. But Colorado has the same law as Indiana, where if you're caught violating the stay-at-home order, you can get pulled over and charged with a Class B misdemeanor and get sent to jail. So what do? Do we drive around Colorado and then we have to check every state along the way to see if we could get in trouble for traveling through? I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy scenario, but I think we're doing the best that we can, and we're just trying to be smart. We're staying put. We're staying to ourselves. If we go to the grocery store, typically it's only 2 of us, if we go.
Sometimes, sometimes we just do separate trips, and so we'll shop for them and they'll shop for us, pick up small things that we need. But
so we've basically just been avoiding like the trails. We haven't done anything. We've just been hanging out in the campground.
No hikes at
and
all.
going to
I feel bad because everybody's like, "Oh, we can't wait to see your videos together," but we're not doing anything.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
We're just sitting here, so there aren't going to be any videos together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's been a good time though.
Still hanging out and
Yeah.
being weird together. So.
Well, Wheeling with the Wendy said, "Gotta get dinner. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks for all the videos from both of you. Been watching forever and hope to run into you guys again sometime this year." Well, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, have a good night, and I'm
And
sure your
enjoy your
dinner's.
dinner.
I'm sure it's gonna be
Yes.
delicious. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
So Matt wanted to know if the Lazy Days is a dually. Yes, it is.
Do you guys? You may have already asked this while I was looking for other questions, but how do you guys liking your lazy days as compared to the Itasca?
Stop smacking on this.
Boom.
You made me get
We love it.
Surprisingly, the extra 2 feet makes a huge difference, and the fact that we're wider makes a huge difference.
That's only 2 feet longer.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
So we went from 24 feet length total to we're like 27.
And we're 26.
Well, it's a 26 and a half, but it's technically, and I'm sorry, you're right. It's 26 and a half, but because we have a ladder on the back, it's like
Oh.
26 foot 10. So
You
I'm
can't
saying
count that.
I'm 27 feet is what I'm saying. But the living space is bigger because the Itasca was narrower. It was 7'6", and we're like
Oh.
8'2" or 8'4", so we're wider on the inside. And then also we now have the overhead cab,
Oh, that's huge.
which makes
True.
it feel bigger too because it's living space continued. So instead of having 17 foot from the back of the chassis to the back of the RV, we actually have the overhead cab too. So we actually have more usable of that 27 feet.
Yeah.
So overall, feels a lot bigger.
I would have. I would
Yeah,
have
it feels
guessed that it's
bigger
like
and-
4 feet longer. That's
Oh,
yeah.
no,
It's so,
yeah.
it looks so much longer.
Well, it's got a
so-
lot more separation because we have the overhead bed.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jenny. What were you saying?
I was gonna say your rig feels like twice as big as
Yeah,
ours
I-
whenever we're in it over
Oh,
there.
really?
Yeah, we love it. We think we finally found the perfect RV for us. And what's funny is our very first RV was like 27 foot, and we were like sticking around that range. But we went the travel trailer route, and the one that we had, we just didn't really end up liking the way it all worked out. So we have changed, and
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever gonna change ever again. I mean, it sounds crazy. People are like, "Oh, not say ever," but if we ever like went back to a house, we would just keep the lazy
Yeah.
days and just use it for trip because it's perfect for going and doing trips. It's perfect for living in it. We probably would never change again. It's
Yeah.
all metal roof, aluminum walls. It's like
Mhm.
it's built really well, so it should last hopefully a long time.
That's neat. Yeah,
That's awesome.
we plan on also living in ours, but it won't last that long. It'll probably just last until it starts falling apart too much to replace.
Uncle
to
Doug
fix it.
said that you can get about 10 years out of a travel trailer.
So we're
but
gonna
with
try,
our heavy
we're gonna
use-
try and get as much as we can.
Yeah,
We'll see.
well, yeah, we fully plan on being in our travel trailer until it just completely falls apart. Because we've had great luck with it. It's held together really well, and yeah, here you go. And I don't know. The longer we stay in it, the less money it'll cost us. We'll get more. We'll get more out of what we spent for this thing. We have talked, however, and ideally, if we didn't have so many animals, if it was just Jenny and I, then I would be pushing a lot harder for like a small Class B, like a Sprinter van. Not even like a B plus or something, but just
and
like a
when we have less animals, we will be switching
yeah.
because I also would prefer to have more flexibility.
Yeah, like a lifted Sprinter van RV with four-wheel drive and a diesel. That would be awesome. That's like our dream rig. But whether or not that's gonna happen anytime
Raymond's.
ever.
I was actually going to get to Raymond's question. So we used to have an air compressor. We had it in the Itasca, and we had it for 2 years or whatever. Anyways, it went dead on us. So as we said in the video, we made some major errors in the midst of doing the renovation and swapping everything from one
Make your
RV to the
computer
Oh
other.
my
easier to
gosh, Jenny.
Windows will read it.
When we swapped
know
from
what
one
my
RV
computer's
to the
doing.
other, we just didn't double check everything, and that's our fault. And we've since remedied that.
We're
So
gonna try this.
I don't know what my computer is doing.
That was
Sorry.
weird.
that's okay. So Ron says thanks again for all the informative videos and tipped you guys $20.
Aw.
Oh wow, thank you, Ron.
Well,
really
thank you.
appreciate that.
We do actually have a semi announcement. the video that's coming out this Thursday is a very exciting video. Seriously, you guys don't want to miss it. Thomas makes an appearance.
Thomas saves the day. We go back in time to March 13th, before all the coronavirus craziness really started breaking out and states had their stay-at-home orders and stuff. We filmed the video all the way back on March 13th. Just give it... Okay, yeah, just see if you can skip, Jenny.
There's no skip button.
And, well, okay, go whatever. Go there. And then if it asks you to put in an email account, put in...
It's mine. It's already my microphone
Okay,
account.
just, yeah. Anyway, sorry, Jenny's having issues with her computer.
I don't know what's happening.
Anyway, yeah, Tom, our truck got stuck in the mud because we had so much rain and at
Don't
the time.
give too much away.
Okay.
Anyways, it's an exciting video.
It's
so
an
you have to
exciting
watch
video.
it.
Yes,
Thomas
but
makes an appearance.
Thomas makes an appearance, and the news from that video is that because of that happening, we have kind of sort of decided that we're going to start looking for a 4x4.
Yeah, we are going to begin the search. Not going to promise anything because I'm not going to spend $1 billion on a new truck. So
It could take us a while. It took us like 8 months to find our other truck. So
I would have to
for this
find
truck.
I would have to find a 4x4 diesel, long bed, and all that stuff for a really good price. So
Kind of funny that both of our videos are like fell videos. So yours is getting stuck in the mud, and
Yours is with the flat
ours
tire.
is a flat tire. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Jenny,
that's true.
Jenny, shut your
Don't
laptop
RV
down.
like us.
I don't want you to just keep doing all this random stuff without looking into it.
I
This
don't,
is
yeah,
really
I don't know
weird.
what any of this is.
You know, I think the lesson is everybody makes mistakes, and that's a part of the RV life.
Yeah, that definitely is.
Rolling with the is.
Yep. I lost my spot now. I had a question lined up and then it went away.
I saw the one, if the Rangers and Forest Service are enforcing the stay limit. Here they are. I know that in different parts of Utah, like out by Moab, we are told that if you were on the BLM land in the Tri-County area around Moab's county, if you were already there when the stay-at-home order came into place, they're allowing you to stay
Like
Longer?
shelter in place.
like,
Oh,
basically,
like
yes.
shelter in place. So here they're not, but over there they are. So I don't
Wow,
know.
that's cool. Rebecca Bayless asked, do you guys still have your electric bikes? Do you still love them? Thinking about getting them? Yeah, we still have them. We're going to have them basically forever. We love them. They fold up. They're right in the back of our truck bed. And actually, our promo code with them is active again. So
Oh, yeah, it wasn't
they
active.
they deactivated it over the holidays because they had their own sale going on. So, they deactivated our promo code because then it wouldn't have been profitable for them. But now that that deal's over, our promo code is active again, so you can get some free pannier bags by using our promo code. Again, if you're interested in those bikes, check out our videos on them. We've made 3. Just go to YouTube search and search Fade Unbound e-bikes, and then all of our videos will pop up, and you can check them out for yourself. But yeah, we love them. What else?
Can you not just tap on your thing?
What thing?
Or is it just really slow?
I don't know.
Someone asked if you were still having problems with your nature head.
No,
No.
we resolved those issues. I think it was because we were in an area that had a lot of bugs.
It had a lot of bugs, and it was super moist there, so
Really
the air being pulled through couldn't keep it dry in there. It's probably making it more wet in there because the humidity at the time in near Seattle, Washington, was 100% relative humidity all the time, so it was just pumping moisture in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because you're streaming that, it's not doing anything here. So
Why did you make
because
this phone that is streaming your hotspot?
fine, I'll turn this on.
There you go, Jenny. No, I shut
Our
it off.
hotspot's right here.
There you go. It's okay. Let's go on
As
here.
soon as you turned it off, it started working.
Oh, so I saw that we've been getting a ton of comments thanking either us or them for their solar videos. I'm not sure where all the thanks have been going, but I'm sure most of you guys have seen my solar videos. But Thomas has made a ton of solar videos. We only have like 5 or 6. This guy made like 1,000. So
It's a 15-part series.
15,000 videos. So, yeah, if you are still a noob to solar or RV solar and you're looking at, putting it or, installing your solar or just getting solar for your RV, definitely check out their videos too if you haven't seen them.
Yeah.
Thomas did a great job.
Yeah, his is much more. You don't have any idea what you're doing friendly. Whereas David just like hops right into
Yeah,
it. And this is everything that I did.
That's true. That's true. Mine is all more of just a diving right in. Here's what I've done. But Thomas, takes a lot more of a noob approach to it, which is good because a lot of people need that.
And I think even if you're not going to do it yourself, it's still good content so that you can have knowledge whenever you do go to that place that you're going to pay to install it for you, because they're going to try to talk you into certain products. And if you already have base knowledge, then you won't be ripped off or getting a system that you don't want, etc.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
All
Well,
right.
Jenny, are we ready?
Yep, we're ready.
All right. Well, it's that time. We are going to be ending the public live stream now, and we're going to be switching over to our patrons only live stream.
And I know a lot of you are on here, so
Yeah.
I want to see you there too.
Yeah, we do it. We do it every time after we switch over, or after our public live stream ends. We will be having another live stream a month from now. We have a live stream just like this.
Second Monday of every month.
Second Monday of every month from 4 p.m. Pacific time to
5 p.m. It's 1 hour.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time for 1 hour. And then we switch over to our patrons only live stream for an hour. So if you're a $5 patron or more, you'll be receiving a notification here shortly that Jenny's going to send out. It includes a link so you can join us in that live stream. But thank you everyone for coming and hanging out with us. I can't believe how fast this hour has gone by.
I know, so fast.
Yeah, you guys, we love hanging out with you. Thanks so much for coming to the live stream, and we'll see you at the next one.
And everyone needs to give Thomas and Stacey a massive thank you for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Don't forget to like the video. Come on now.
Yeah, and go check out their channel. If you guys haven't seen them yet, their channel is I'm Not Lost on RVing, and they're awesome friends of ours, so you should definitely go check them out.
Well, we'll see you guys. Have a good
Bye.
night. Stay safe.
Bye.